And I'll ask you this about like because you said about the states. Um, when you were brought up in school and life and whatever, were you always kind of like told like Canada's a better place? You're lucky you live in Canada. The states is gun crazy and it's just nuts, and Canada's the politest place to be, and it's kind of like Canada's better than the states.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
And it's a narrative that was pushed on me for so long.
yeah, same.
And then I kind of like woke up to it. I'm like, you know, when they say that the American dream, and you're like, well, why? And then
Yeah,
you start critically thinking. The why is because it's the freest place on the planet, despite its flaws, right?
yes,
And also, people don't recognize, like the Canadian government likes to do this a lot on both sides, conservatives and fucking liberals. They like to use statistics from the U.S. to compare to Canada, but the
yeah.
population sizes
10 times. Yeah,
10, 15, it's way different. There's so many more people in the US than there is here. But the fact that all culture, all modern day culture comes from the US. Like
yeah.
Joe Rogan was talking, I forgot, he was talking about this with some comedians from the UK. It's the fact that
I listened to that one. I like those guys. That was
yeah,
a good one.
you know who I'm talking about, right? I forgot their names, but it's the fact that in the US, you have the freedom to do what you want.
Mhm.
So because of that, because for example, let's look at comedy. I can tell a racist joke about a fucking brown guy, a black guy, whatever, and it's viewed as comedy. Whereas in
Mhm.
the UK, it's frowned upon. Or in like Canada now, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not an inclusive fucking joke, right? So, uh, the United States gives creators and artists and athletes and everyone the freedom to be creative, and that's why most of the culture that you see around the world is adopted from American culture, right? A lot and like
100%.
look at Canada. Look at some of the biggest shows on TV. I don't even fucking watch. I don't have network television. I don't have cable, but
Yeah.
Canada's Got Talent. Canada's Next Best Singer. Those
Yeah.
are all American-based television shows that
Canadian
we're just
Idol.
yeah, that you're just ripping off. And
Yeah.
so then we just go and tell kids, "Oh, you don't want to be in the U.S." Well, then
Yeah.
why are we ripping off their culture? I brought this up to Belinda Carahalios, the girl who runs the Ontario New Blue. I didn't think I got anywhere with that, but I was like, when you, I was a football player coming up. I didn't tell myself I wanted to go play for UFT, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go play in the NCAA. I
Right.
didn't want to. We're so hellbound on saying that Canada is better than the U.S. in all these different ways, and in some ways it is. I'm not hating on. I love Canada, um, but why do we want to export talent so much then? Why do we send doctors over I know three or four doctors, high profile doctors, who left Canada to go there for better pay,
Yeah.
and for better access to better equipment and medicine and being able to further their research other than in Canada. So
Yeah.
we're so hellbound on criticizing the U.S. Yet we don't give them the credit they deserve when they actually are doing some very positive things. Well,
100%. There's a reason why they're the most, sought out place to be for immigration. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Why they're the most immigrants anywhere in the world every year.
Want more podcasts? Head over to gmg-podcast.com.